So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andreea Iana, and today I would like to present our work on creating a multilingual, diverse data set for cross-lingual news recommendation. So personalized news recommenders represent the main vehicle used by news websites to cater to the individual needs of readers. And news media in general represents a very crucial factor in democratic societies because it offers it keeps the citizens informed and provides a public forum for the discussion and dissemination of ideas. So in this context, recommender systems have the power to shape people's worldviews and opinions through the way in which they propagate news and filter this news. And this happens in an ever more language-diverse online user community in which more and more users consume news in 2 or more languages. However, we don't really see this reflected in research that much because on the one hand, we see a scarcity of publicly available diverse multilingual news recommendation datasets which could be leveraged to create efficient multilingual news recommenders and effective cross-lingual transfer approaches. And on the other hand, much of the research is focused on monolingual news consumption and high-resource languages, particularly English. And all in all, this leads to less relevant, less balanced, less diverse recommendations for multilingual news readers as well as readers of resource-lean languages. And this is what motivated us to create XMind, which is a diverse multilingual news data set that we constructed with 3 main considerations in mind. Firstly, diversity, not only from a linguistic perspective, but also in terms of the geographical areas covered, as well as the inclusion of both high-resource and low-resource languages. Secondly, we wanted to create a multi-parallel data set in which the same set of news appears in all languages, such that we can directly compare different multilingual recommenders as well as cross-lingual transfer techniques across all the target languages. And finally, we wanted to offer this open source. So for this, we leveraged an existing news recommendation benchmark from Microsoft, and we translated the over 130,000 unique articles, so more specifically the abstracts and the titles of the news, using an open source neural machine translation model into the 14 different languages that you see listed in this table. So we cover 13 different language families, 5 low resource languages that are highlighted with a gray background, 6 different scripts, and 5 out of 6 macro areas that exist in the world. So the first question when we have this data set is, how do existing news recommenders actually perform in a true zero-shot cross-lingual transfer scenario? So this means that during training, we assume that we only have monolingual data in English, and then during evaluation, we assume that the user histories as well as the recommendations that we want to produce are monolingual, but in one of the target languages of the XMind dataset. And just to give you a very quick preview of our results, we find out that across all of the languages, current news recommenders suffer large performance drops in zero-shot cross-lingual transfer relative to their performance on English. So could few-shot target language injection actually help in this scenario to mitigate these problems? And this would mean that during training, we would inject a certain percentage of target language examples. And here we focus on 2 different scenarios. So firstly, on monolingual news consumption, just as in the previous setting, we assumed during evaluation that the user histories and the candidate news are monolingual in the target languages from XMind. And on the other hand, we also look at bilingual news consumption. So if we couple the articles from the XMind dataset with the click behavior data from the original Mind dataset, we can simulate any kind of multilingual news consumption by replacing a certain percentage of source language news in the user history with target language news. And during evaluation, we focus on the bilingual case where we combine English with one of the target languages from XMind. And in both scenarios, we find that few-shot target language injection actually shows very limited benefits during training compared to other related NLP tasks. And especially this happens when we look at bilingual news consumption. But if you want to find out more about our data set, about the experiments that we conducted and the results, I encourage you to stop by our poster session on Wednesday. I would be happy to talk more about it. Thank you.